What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going on another Nitro road trip. This is for an HPI Nitro Bullet ST. This is a deal I saw on LETGO. It is described as a black and yellow.
You know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
So today I'm going to be taking the black and white, which is my Mercury Grand Marquis. There is no black, but it is fully white. I'm also going to be stopping off at the Mika Morgan exit to get myself a nice little fish and cheese, and then we're going to pick up this Nitro RC.
Raul is more than reckless, so I meet him when it's busy at that Mika Morgan exit off the PQ. PQ in there, Mickey D's, and occasionally treat myself to a nice little fish and cheese. I'm really in the street, being broke's my enemy. Teacher said I'm done, but
the asking price was $200. The pictures were very good. Judging based on the pictures alone, the car has very good Duratrax upgraded wheels. The chassis itself is fairly clean. It looks like it has relatively low use hours. Now, if you look at the engine cooling head, yes, it looks a little bit dirty and kind of weird, but that is actually a pretty normal condition for one of these cooling heads because they are not anodized. All of the HPI G3.0 engines I have look basically the same, although the engines run perfect. They are rated at 2.2 horsepower, which actually is a lot more than the Traxxas TRX 3.3 engine. After a few texts, I was able to negotiate a pretty good offer. The seller accepted $130, told me that a whole bunch of extras were included that he was getting out of Nitro. Not bad. I'm never getting out of Nitro. I'm never getting out of gas RC. These cars are very common. They've been out since the 70s when the Panther platform was first introduced, and since then many of them have been livery or police duty vehicles. This particular one is a civilian model. It does not have the high rear axle gear ratio. It has the regular 4.6 V8 in the front, actually has more torque than horsepower. The Panther platform was discontinued in 2011 because they decided that, guess what, building cars on basically frames was just not good for fuel economy. But I gotta say, they were definitely wrong. I get pretty good MPGs in this, and if you guys know that I'm the Prius king, I do love my miles per gallon. Of course, city driving, I average about maybe 18, but at highway speeds, I could safely get a little around 30 or over 30, no problem. This car can run on premium, it can run on regular. I generally put premium in this car because I care about it. But there it is, guys, some history for you on this Mercury Grand Marquis. Doing close to 60, and the road noise is just so minimal in this car that sound insulation is like top notch. Look at those miles a gallon. I'm basically getting over 30 mpg at these highway speeds. Yep, New York City 50s are the highway speeds here, guys. That's a C3 Corvette right there. The deal was made. This is the entire box I got. It's resting on top of my Mercury because why not, right? It's got a Spectrum. That is nice. Let me put it on, see if it has batteries. Oh yeah, the nice Spectrum welcome screen. Bullet 3.0, 6 volts. Nice, I like that. It looks like it's got a whole bunch of stuff. This is the original manual. This is the kind of stuff that I like to see. So this is the 2.4 gigahertz version, not the first version of the HPI Bullet 3.0. But when we get this thing home, we're gonna do a whole kind of history review on it. There's a whole bunch of parts in here. I got some 20% nitro fuel over here. It's pretty useful. I ran out of fuel myself. There's a new fuel bottle. There's a whole bunch of parts over here. Original HPI parts, a couple glow starters. Check all this out. We're not gonna go through all of this right now because it's super hot out here. Oh, look at that, an original bag. I guess this was probably included with the HPI. It has a whole bunch of cool tools inside. Not bad. I mean, this is more tools than I've seen with some fit scales currently today. The body itself seems to be in good condition. Now, the inside of the car, you know, there's probably a whole bunch of stuff going on. Look at that. Oh yeah, it's a little bit dirty, but probably nothing that wrong with it. It's a pretty good chassis overall, probably just dirt. I don't see any kind of major damage. The wheels are basically like new, and there's a whole bunch of stuff here that I didn't even discuss yet. But right now, let's go home, and then we're gonna do a whole kind of unboxing, literally take this stuff out of the box and go over it in detail. Right there, deep in the distance, we're passing by the largest landfill, I think, in the world. Back when this landfill was open in Staten Island, they say that you could have seen it from space. It closed in the early 2000s. Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who made an unsuccessful successful bid for president. I think oversaw that at that time, but here it is. We're driving through the largest landfill. I mean, look at the sights I'm taking you guys on. Just super exciting, not just nitro vintage buying, right? In the time it took me to drive home, this thing somehow gave birth to some rice balls. Wow, that's weird. Check that out. Let's get some history on this HPI Nitro Bullet. This is the Wayback Machine right over here. This website basically takes screenshots of entire websites for a certain time period and year. Right now we're looking at the Tower Hobbies listing for HPI Racing. Right over here is the HPI Nitro Bullet, the exact one that we have. The only difference is the wheels on mine are updated. It says early May, that is the stock status. This is 2012, keep in mind. At the bottom of the site, we could see that the HPI Nitro MT2 3.0 is already discontinued. So it seems that the Bullet was aimed to replace the Nitro MT2. Let's click on the Bullet, see how much it cost. Here we go, the listing for the HPI Nitro Bullet itself, as you would have seen it in 2012. Here we go, two versions available. We have this first one, the $329 version. Honestly, a very good price for such a pretty cool RC that I think to this day is definitely worth this. There's also the MT version available. The only difference is the wheels are a little bit different and the body is different. As a side note, let me give a shout out to two of my viewers, Yo Vlogs. He has the 29cc Rovan buggy. Check out his channel. He does some pretty good stuff with that RC. And the Sweaty Potato Mayor, who has a Red Cat Rampage XT, which is basically this, but with smaller wheels. He also has the 29cc Rovan coming. I'm excited for that. There's going to be three of us guys that are going to have the same Rovan buggy. Not bad. I also want to bring to all of your attention, this is the new issue of Radio Control Car Action Magazine. This is the September issue. I only found one mention of anything nitro or gas related. Right over here on the top right of this page, this is how to basically deal with a flooded engine. Are we going to eventually see nothing but electrics in these magazines, and are they constantly going to get thinner and thinner? This is probably the thinnest version to date. Well, I guess only the future will tell, right? But for now, let me give you guys a quick update on my Red Cat Rampage right over here. This is the one I paid $280 for, then blown the front tires. You see that? Basically, the foam fell off. This tire is exactly the same. Well, I do have the front tires. Look at these. Pretty huge, right? I know. About 2.5 pounds each where I weighed them. I also got upgraded front aluminum suspension arms because I don't think these are that good, but we're going to do this in a follow-up video. This is a set of rear differential outdrives. I needed these two. One of the rear ones was broken. I think it exploded when I lost rear wheel drive. I'm back home now. Let's check out what's inside the box. I, in fact, haven't really even looked at what's inside, so this is going to be a surprise for me also. I'm wearing a collared shirt right over here, and right behind me, for some moral support, is my Rovan 29cc BAJA clone. This is like the predecessor clone of the actual HPI. So, this is going to be a never-ending battle. The clone versus real. What's it going to be? It's actually surprising if you look at the online web search for this particular model, the Nitro Bullet ST 3.0, they still sell them. Here's a screenshot of an A-Main Hobbies website. It is $339. So believe it or not, they still sell this. It's also available on the HPI website. Although it's been a little bit updated, the wheels are different in a newer version compared to the one I have. I believe this is around 2011 to 2012, probably one of the first versions, because this orange colored body and the original wheels that probably were on this. Here we go. I'm giving you guys a bird's eye view of what's in here. First, let's start with this cool Spectrum radio. I've never been a particular fan of Spectrum, but I do like this particular one, the DX3C. This is a much better looking radio, and honestly the hand feel is really good compared to those new Surface radios that Spectrum sells that are nothing but just one color plastic. I hate that. This one even has the original plastic little protecting things right over here. I mean, that is nice. I want to say thanks to the owner for keeping this thing in good shape. I did wash this a little bit, but that's because I have OCD with clean remotes and clean bodies. I also washed the body under the sink, but nothing else has been removed from this box. The radio does power on. I showed you guys earlier. In a little, we're going to turn the electronics on, see how they are. Up right over here, we have some nitro fuel. This says Backyard Basher, 20% nitro and 16% oil. $12.99 a quart. So if you do the math, that's pretty much over $50 a gallon. As I said before in many videos, nitro fuel is not cheap. the owner's manual. I always love having these things included. Why? Not only can you get them online, of course, but having them in print is just so cool. You could look up any of the exploded parts diagrams, read some of the really good, well translated in 12 to 13 languages, the HPI instructions. You always want to have those 12 to 13 languages, right? Just like Rich Piana has 15 meals a day.
I can eat 12 times a day. Basically my breakfast, 12 scoops, 2 cups of steroids.
We got a brand new fuel bottle. It says AE, which is a team associated fuel. There are 2 of them in here actually, so let's put this to the side. We got a couple of glow starter chargers. This one is a Tower Hobbies one. We got a couple of glow starters. This one is nice. It has a meter. Now, of course, the worst thing about glow starters in general is the batteries that are inside only last a certain amount of time. I would say about 3 to 4 years, after which it might seem like the thing can hold some juice, but it actually doesn't do a very good job. A whole bunch of original parts probably that were included with this thing right here. Honestly, I've never seen so many different parts. Some fuel lines, good indicator that the fuel lines probably here were replaced. I know HPI uses these gray fuel lines almost all the time on all of their new Nitro RCs. These are wheel spacers. Not sure if they're really from this kit or not, but you know, maybe they'll come in handy in the future. We got a rear spindle hub carrier set. Don't know if that means these were broken, but they seem to be in pretty good condition on the car as is. We got some wheel pins. These are what go inside the hexes to make sure that the wheels do not spin out. We got 2 bearings. We got 2 wheel axles. We got a couple of ball studs. Pretty useful. You could always kind of adapt these to some other RCs in case you need to. Here it is, what we all came here to see, what's under this body, right? It's like going to a strip club for RCs. You don't even have to throw dollars at it. Maybe if I throw some batteries. Oh, if I threw some batteries in it. Oh, wow, look, that's what it takes. You throw some batteries, the body comes off. Now we all know. I am not surprised. You guys see this? I do this with all my HPIs. This is to demonstrate how good the factory suspension, the shock geometry always is. I have never been let down by the suspension on any HPI. There's 2 shocks on each suspension arm. Really cool. Now, you definitely don't need 2 on each arm because you know what, that's a lot of repair and work. But if the HPI Savage has it, why not put it on here? I mean, it's just pure logic, guys. I mean, how come no one else has figured out, right? The T-maxx had it, the Savage had it, well, the Nitro Bullet's gotta have it. Let me show you the specs of this motor. Now, I've already talked about how good the HPI G3.0 engine is, and this thing develops 2.2 horsepower, which honestly is a lot for a 0.18 displacement engine. Compared to its direct primary competitor, the Traxxas TRX 3.3, this is about, maybe I would say 0.75 of a horsepower more, and that engine is actually bigger than this. By the way, one of my viewers sent me one of these as a replacement engine he was getting out of Nitro. Just wanted to give him a shout out. I want to say thank you very much. In case this engine has any issue, and chances are it will, because let's watch this. I'm going to pull this. It seems pretty much jammed right now. So I'm not going to keep on pulling it in a future video. We will remove the cooling head. We're going to do a whole diagnosis on this, and we're going to see what the situation is. The worst case scenario, I'll just drop in the other engine, right? I'm going to power on the radio, turn the car on. I have not replaced the receiver batteries yet, but in case I have to, I'll just keep throwing batteries at it, right? If it takes the body off, I'm sure it'll do wonders for the chassis if it's already naked. Throttle servo works. I could see it moving right over here. You guys can see that. Brakes are good. Right, so the steering does work. At least we know that the radio system is responsive. Now, without disassembling either the servo saver mechanism or the steering here in the front, I won't know why it's binding right now. But it seems to be okay. I don't think that throwing batteries at it is really gonna fix an issue right now. This is gonna be a future thing for this RC. So guys, stay tuned for that. This right here is one of my HPI Nitro MT2s with a T15 engine. This engine is far worse than the G3.0, but the chassis itself, as you could tell, the wheelbase is basically similar. Now, of course, this has 2 shocks, which, you know, honestly, I'm not sure if it's good or bad compared to this. I always like the suspension and handling dynamics of the Nitro MT. My other one hit 50 miles an hour with the engine in this one, and it had absolutely no issues in terms of control or steering, starting or turning. And it was just a single speed transmission. So all of you guys getting these armors out there from a company that doesn't doesn't even sell a Nitro, I gotta tell you one thing, I don't respect them. Until a brand manufactures at least one Nitro or a gas RC, I will not be buying them. So everyone asking me to buy the Arma Infraction, just so you know, I'm too cheap to buy that brand new. It's never gonna happen. I did own a Traxxas XL1 when they first came out. Basically never drove it because you know what, the thing glitched all the time. There's some kind of issue with the Traxxas TQI app. It fried my ESC, it fried my radio, and it fried my receiver. It was a lot to repair. Traxxas, of course, blamed it on me. But there it is, guys. This is just a video on the actual pickup process. This is pretty fun for me. Now, obviously, I'm gonna have to spend some time after work, you know, in between my gym sessions, in between whatever the hell I normally do, and researching this stuff. In the future, part 2 video on this Nitro Bullet, we will disassemble the engine, hopefully see what the problem is. It did spin a little bit, I will give it that. It probably just got stuck at the top. I'm not gonna be removing this right now because this video is gonna be never ending. But there it is, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and make sure that we all keep the gas and Nitro hobby alive, because it seems like Horizon Hobby is doing their best to pretty much populate Radio Control Car Action magazine with nothing but electrics, right? We can't let that happen because yes, the Arma Infraction might be fast, but I don't care. There's no smoke coming out of it. This will always be cooler no matter what.